The night everything changed. I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but I guess I need to tell someone. It's been weighing on my mind for months and I can't shake it off. I'm still trying to process it, to be honest. I don't even know where to start, but I guess I'll just tell you how it happened. It was a regular Friday night, the kind where you're excited for the weekend, plans in mind, nothing too serious, but you just want to unwind after a long week. My flat is located in Zurich, not far from the city centre. It's a quiet neighbourhood, the kind where everyone minds their own business. I was out with a couple of friends, we grabbed some drinks, had a laugh, nothing special. I came back home around midnight, the street was dead quiet. You know that kind of quiet that feels weirdly heavy, like something's off? Yeah, that. But whatever, I just brushed it off as me being tired. I was scrolling through my phone when I heard this loud thud outside. At first, I didn't pay much attention. You hear random sounds all the time, especially in a city. But then there was another one, and then screaming. And I mean like blood-curdling screams. I got up and looked out my window, but I couldn't see much. The street lights were dim, and there was a fog rolling in. It was eerie, but not in some spooky ghost story kind of way. Just real. I saw two figures under one of the lights. It looked like a guy and a girl. The girl was backing up, and the guy, well, he was acting erratic, flailing his arms. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but the girl looked terrified. I grabbed my phone, thinking I should call the police, but I hesitated. I mean, what if it was just a couple having a fight? People argue all the time. But then things escalated. Fast. I heard another scream, louder this time, and I saw the girl fall to the ground. My heart sank. I rushed to the window and squinted, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. The guy was standing over her, his hands shaking. He had something in his hand, but from that distance I couldn't tell what it was. I was frozen, trying to process whether what I was seeing was real. Before I could even think, the guy grabbed her by the arms and dragged her further down the street, into a darker area where the streetlights didn't reach. That's when I finally snapped out of it and dialed 144. My hands were shaking so bad that I almost dropped the phone. I told the operator what I saw, and they said a patrol was on its way. I stayed by the window, my eyes glued to where the guy had dragged her. A couple of minutes passed, though it felt like hours, and I saw the flashing lights of the police. They searched the area but didn't seem to find anything right away. I didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning I heard about it on the news. Two women had been found murdered not far from where I lived. One of them was found near where I saw the guy. The other one, well, she was discovered later, in an alley a few blocks away. Both had been stabbed multiple times. Over the next few days, the police were all over the area. I was questioned, gave my statement, and told them everything I saw. That's when I learned more about what had happened. The guy I saw, he was the ex-boyfriend of one of the women. Apparently he'd been stalking her for weeks, and that night he just snapped. The police said he had a history of drug abuse, and the night of the murder he was high on something. They didn't go into too much detail, but I overheard one of the officers say it was meth. The whole thing messed with me for a long time. I couldn't stop thinking about how I'd been so close to it all, how I could have done something more if I hadn't hesitated. The thing is, you always hear about stuff like this on the news, but you never think it'll happen right in front of you. Not in your neighborhood, not to people you might have passed by on the street. I still live in the same place, but I'm not sure how much longer I can stay here. Every time I look out that window, I remember the screams and the sight of her falling. I wish I could unsee it, but I can't. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more hair-raising stories and encounters.